Howdy folks, Windy City Thetan Watch. We are here coming up on the org. I'm a couple blocks away. Yes, I've been away for a while, getting ready for vacation, getting ready for the move. They're pretty intense elements, big changes are fairly disruptive to my life, but we'll get there. Never in, great to see you. Hope you have a good time at the zoo. Hopefully you're not going there for the lights. I don't think they'll have the lights for a couple of hours. But definitely enjoy that. We are going to head over the org. We're over on Harrison right now, so we're, 2 blocks away. Howdy the journey. I know I've been away for a while. Just life happens. We'll get back to it though. And I've just been doing a little bit more studio, and you can see that I've been doing some animation with some other stories. So that's been interesting, hopefully. I do want to call out a couple of things that I thought were awesome this past weekend. So while I was out running, I was up at the old org, and I was able to get some footage of that. And thank you all that came in on that with very short notice. But I noticed Heligear basically did a little documentary on that, and she was up there showing how decrepit it looks inside and how poorly the outside of the building looks to be maintained. So that was great. Howdy, never in. And then the other thing that I just thought was worth calling out, Jeff at PTS for Life had, I think it was last night, but basically it was a show on Toronto, and Toronto basically lost their lease. And it wasn't much that they lost their lease. It was the idea that because the protesters were there, they couldn't get any other tenants in the building. No other tenants wanted to be associated with Scientology and didn't want to be around the protests. So all of the other tenants bailed. And the way that Jeff told it was that the landlord said, if you want to pay everybody's rent, then you can stay. Otherwise, find yourselves a new home. And it looks like they chose to find themselves a new home. So I would definitely encourage you to head over to PTS for Life, Jeff's channel, and look at that. Folks, it is chilly here today. When I went out to run, the temperature was 15 with a feels like 5. Right now, we might be as high as 20 degrees with a feels like 15. But no real wind here, probably because we're getting protected from the wind by the buildings. I don't anticipate there's going to be a lot of body routing over here. It's just frigid. We probably won't see a lot of foot traffic, but I haven't forced them to close their blinds in a while, and I want to get back over there and do that. I will tell you that I noticed I did a live on Windy Wanders the City this morning, and my mic died fairly quickly. And on the way over here, I put the mic on, and I could tell that it was already dropping fairly quickly. So I've got that hooked onto a battery, but the DJI receiver seems to be very, very sensitive to cold weather. We'll have to look into that. Now, I saw the Corn and Heli were here, I think this past weekend, if not the weekend before. Kudos to them for being out here in the chilly weather. That was definitely enjoyable to see. I'm going to turn the camera around because we're coming up on the alley. So this truck here has nothing to do with Scientology. There's an SUV down there, but it's going the other direction. No idea what's going on there. There's no people out in the alley. And I'm going to take my glove off and kind of try and keep my hand in my pocket as much as possible. We're coming up to Clark Street. Again, we saw this just before I stopped showing up. The scaffolding is down from the courthouse. We're going to head down the street. Oh, bless these pigeons. I don't understand how they can handle this cold. This past weekend, we noticed that there were an awful lot of Canadian geese heading south. Now, many of the Canadian geese that are here in Chicago, or Canada geese, they don't migrate. They get enough food up here for people feeding them and all of that fun stuff that they just stay here during the cold. Apparently they have down coats. But if you were to look up, you were to see an awful lot of the Canada goose from Canada or parts further north where they just can't stay in that cold. They were heading down. Now, as we come up here, I can see that the doors are open. Hopefully you can see that as well. Let's see if they remember me. Howdy, Lady E. Lady E, if you can email me, I am heading to South Africa very, very soon. Okay, so they've got Christmas trees up. No idea why they've got that, right? They don't celebrate Christmas. They've got some flocking on this Christmas tree. And we've got somebody at the desk here. Now she's paying attention to something going on in her box. If I look over here, we've got one lady sitting here at the lunch. We'll see. Again, I just think their guard's down, right, that they haven't really seen me in a while. I'm hearing some music. Just want to see what that is. Oh, it's coming over from Paisans, yeah. Oh, got a couple more people here. We've got the larger gentleman. We've seen him several times with his back to the wall. Folks, what do we notice about this Scientology Ideal org? That it's an idol org, right? There is nobody in here. Whoop. Sorry about that. I've got to be careful because I've got a cable on there. Oh, here we go. Waving to the young lady as she brings down the blinds because remember, Scientology has to hide from the public. Oh, she gave a dirty glance back at the admin desk. Like, hey, where the heck are you? Why aren't you here getting these out here? Yep, we are very well bundled up. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you that I haven't seen. We've got the Christmas season about us, Diwali. I think we've just finished Ramadan, but many of the end of year holidays are coming out. We'll see if they come and do the door as well. I will tell you that I have a bare hand on the gimbal right now, and it's very, very chilly. I don't think they're coming out here. We'll take a walk around the block just to kind of see the neighborhood. Again, I don't anticipate that we're going to see any Scientology folk out here, but we do want to make sure that the retail presence is closed, right? We don't want them to look inviting in any way, shape, or form. So we've come over there. I will say, I don't know if many of you noticed that, but when we got there, the female that actually started closing the blinds, she did give a kind of a dirty side-eyed glance to the admin desk saying, what the F, why aren't you watching the window here? How come you didn't see this guy out here? How come you let him see and show on live camera that our organization is empty? We are one of Scientology's new idol orgs. We have no people. Again, I haven't heard otherwise, but there is no expectation that there's been any new Scientologists joining Scientology from the Chicago base. So, Joe Sakala, all of those hundreds of millions of dollars that you and the crew raised, the staff that you trained up, all for naught, right? You were able to show that you were loyal to David Miscavige, but you've done nothing to help save the world. Folks, my breath is very noticeable as I exhale. Howdy, SP from afar. Again, I just want to encourage people, go look over at PTS for Life. Jeff did a video last night on the Toronto org. Now, my understanding and recollection is Jeff is based on the West Coast. I think he's a BC guy, or Vancouverish. Toronto being more East Coast, or eastern side of Canada. And Scientology in Toronto has lost their lease, right? So the protesters, while the protesters were there for Scientology, and I'm not happy that they've hurt the local businesses, but again, I'm glad that the local businesses realize that they shouldn't be associated with Scientology or near Scientology, that the protesters caused all of those tenants to flee that location. And when they fled that location, Scientology was given an ultimatum from the landlords saying, hey, either you pay everybody's rent or you're no longer welcome here. And as Jeff mentioned, there just aren't enough Scientologists to support that kind of increase in their rent. So their choice was, we'll go someplace else. Now, what we aren't clear about is where someplace else is yet. But we definitely see that they've, they had a U-Haul packed up. He saw a couple of Facebook posts. Hey, folks, come and have fun while we move and build a new org. What's challenging in that situation is, in the Scientology realm, it's antithetical. So here we do have one of our Scientology friends. He's heading back over there. He's gotten coffee over at Flacco's. Folks, I still encourage you to patronize Flacco's if you're ever in town. They aren't bending over to the will of Scientology. That they are a business, and if a Scientologist wants to come in and spend their money there, they should. But there's no indication in any way that they are pro-Scientology. Now, getting back to the Toronto, one of the things that I as a person who comes out and demonstrates, I think it's really important that we do this, and it's the demonstrators that really forced that organization to close, right? Yeah, no idea. I have not seen anything from Monique lately. And again, I've been away for 3 weeks, I think. I don't think I've been here at the org for 3 weeks. Sorry about that, folks. Just, again, taking care of real life. I do remember seeing Monique, but it's been a while. I don't think that I saw her in the last 2 months of even when I was out here doing the demonstrations more regularly. As I was saying about Scientology, it's very antithetical and almost treasonous to close an org. So they have to get something up and going very, very quickly, because for Scientology to close an org is a demonstration that it's shrinking. And it's hard to say you're the fastest growing religion in the world when you're shrinking. Now, quite honestly, them saying it at all is an absolute lie and a fabrication. They are shrinking. They are getting, you can tell that there are young people here in Chicago. Hey, Corn Freak, how are you doing? I'm pretty sure, I think it was either this past week or last week that you were out here. Kudos for that. And I saw that you were out at a Corn concert, or a Corn tribute concert the other day. What was I saying? oh, fastest growing religion, right? That, hey, we know Scientology just lies like crazy. But this is just another example of, you know, I think last night we heard Aaron say that their number has always been 15 to 20 million. And it's like, have they ever been that high? You know, in the 70s, Scientology was nouveau and niche and cool. It was the club that nobody knew about and everybody wanted to get in. And now we've gotten to the point where more people understand the destructive elements of this cult. Hey, thanks, Tina. And yeah, it is good to be back. Those flames are very, very inappropriate right now, although I would love to have some flames. It is chilly. Even my gloved hand is rather frigid here in the city. We're very, very chilly today. Howdy, Haggis. Great to have you in here. Last night, I put out another video, and it was basically a repackaging of the cult deprogrammers questions answered. So we did that last night. Hopefully, you can all take a look at that. And I think I want to get a Never-In to also kind of look at that and show more of how Scientology does some of these cultic behaviors. I've really enjoyed doing the editing and the animation. I think it's cool to me. I think that it's probably faster, easier, safer to keep doing lives. I do have an article from Sand League that I want to do. I might do that tonight, and I'll do that in the studio, and we'll kind of go through there. Oh, here's our friend Chad. Hey Chad, how we doing? What have you done to save the world today? Looks like he had a little bit of roast beef for the holidays. He apparently didn't hear me, or he's done nothing to save the world today. Coming back up to the org here. Still closed up, right? So Scientology is ashamed to have their windows open. They don't want the world to see that they're empty inside. Remember, we were over on the other street. We saw the gentleman coming out with a cup of coffee. So we're going to see our Scientologists come up the street real quick. Yeah, very few people, I think, actually eat inside of here. For the most part, they're all going out to gather something. The cafeteria inside of here looks like one of those places, like if you go to Starbucks, you go in and they've got the plastic wrap, so they microwave your sandwich, bring it out to you. Howdy. Anything positive to share about your church? Yes, yes. Hey, Bridge, how are you doing? He also had nothing positive to share about his cult. As we look up, all the shades are drawn upstairs as well. Now, I'm still curious to figure out the finances of these members, right? So people who declare themselves as staff are most likely only on that 2 to 5 year journey, right? They're not the billion-year contract folks. They are people that probably live here in Chicago or have lived here in Chicago. But eating in Chicago, there's almost no place that you can go and get a lunch for less than $12, $15. So it's not cheap to be here in Chicago. I don't know where they're actually getting those finances from. Many of them, if you follow the channel over any time. Hey folks, there's Tuan, our friend Tuan. And that if they're a staff member, they're probably working for Dream Exchange. Now, the Dream Exchange monthly salary is something like 30K that we are under, like that. Those are the numbers that we've seen semi-verified from the org. So Joe Cicala does invest an awful lot of money in this organization to keep it upright. Again, it can't stand on its own. An org is supposed to be able to justify its finances by selling courses and by selling reading materials. They are obviously not doing that, right? So they're not bringing in new Scientologists. They're not selling enough books. The well-to-do public in this area, Joe Cicala being one of them, right? Randy Kretschmar, just the same. There are several others, and if you go back to the blog, right, the original posting of that fundraiser back in 2005, where they started raising money for the Ideal Org. Folks, I'm going to head back. I've spent enough time out in the chill. We're going to head back in, so follow me for a couple minutes while we chat. That they're basically being funded on the backs of these well-to-do people. Now, is Dream Exchange above board in all of their other financial affairs? Hard to say, right? There have been news stories both directions. You know, are they open yet? Should they be accepting investments yet? Hard to tell. They do keep on putting out PR about new people that have joined Dream Exchange. And remember, Dream Exchange is Joe Cicala's business venture. I'm going to head across the street here. Hellgear was up at the old org this past weekend. You know, I was up there for a very short. I was out for a run this weekend, and I just so happened to be passing by the org, and I took advantage of it and filmed. But I think that same day that Hellgear was up there, and she did a little bit more expose on what the building looks like and how it's fallen into a state of disrepair since Scientology left. Remember, this was back in March. So this organization opened March 3rd, and that was the end of the organization up there in Lakeview. Folks, it is chilly out here in Chicago. Yeah, this morning we did a little bit of a walk down Milwaukee. We saw some new businesses. We saw some businesses that have left in the area. I do want to get a little bit more back into the producing content for all these channels. I think that we've got everything stowed away for vacation, and we've got everything stowed away for the move. I'm excited about our time. We're going to head to South Africa very, very soon. Again, Lady E, please get a hold of me. I've already gotten a hold of a couple of other people on the channel, and they're trying to help me out as we get there, play tour guide for a bit. Thank you, Fuzzy, for putting that up there. I think we did a short, by the way, shorts are now up to 3 minutes, which means you can tell a little bit better of a story. So I did a short last week, basically on Katie Holmes and Surrey Holmes, and how Scientology interfered with their wedding and all of that fun stuff. And then the disconnection that occurs there with Scientology. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the editing in that. I will say that I've tried to enhance my ability to do that editing. It's much different than what I do here, right? For this, I get to open my mouth and tell you stories, some of which are correct and others of which Fuzzy and the crew get to correct me on. But it's much easier to just pick up the camera and shoot. I'm gonna have to figure out another way to help keep this channel alive, because I just won't live near an org within a month or so. I would definitely say stay connected to the channel while I'm in Africa. I'll do tape delayed videos, so hopefully I'll be able to show you some of the big urban centers there, and I'll be able to show you the Scientology org that's there near the Union buildings in Pretoria, as well as the castle there next to the F1 course. I probably will be on safari a couple of times, so maybe I'll be able to show you guys some animals. I'm gonna head back to our offices. We're heading through the financial district here, so this is the Financial Canyon. We've got the Chicago Board of Options Exchange here, CBOE. And then just to the south of this is the Chicago Stock Exchange. So we've got the Board of Trade here, and then the building on the other side of this little tunnel is the Stock Exchange. That also is where the LaSalle Street Station's at. This is Chicago's Federal Reserve Bank, and it looks like they've got their Christmas decorations out. All right, so today we've headed over to the org, continued our victory stance of forcing them to bring down their retail location, closing the blinds, not allowing them to leverage their expensive building to entice more Scientologists in there. So love that. Hopefully you all enjoyed that, and I hope that you'll be able to see more of me. Again, I doubt that I'll go live in South Africa. I just don't like being live outside of the country. Never know where Scientology has operatives. So, but I will do tape delayed stuff while I'm down there. Hope you enjoy that. And for now, I am going to shut down the stream, put my hands in my gloves, and head back to the office and warm up. Thank you all for being here. Have a great day.